All right, welcome back, traders. Thank you guys so much for joining the live session today. Your host here, Mr. Know-It-All. Shout out to CPC, our partners here. Thank you guys so much for taking us on as a partner, and glad to do this session for your community and really for everyone on YouTube here. Thank you guys for all your support and enjoying the session. We're going to be doing this is what I normally do for the live Zoom sessions. I'm actually doing it live on YouTube for you guys, so you guys should feel lucky. This is normally a session that I charge $40 a person for, so definitely don't take this lightly. This is what I teach every week here, okay, guys? So make sure you guys smash the like button up. Do me that favor. Smash the like button up. Hit the subscribe button if you guys are new to the channel, and hit the notification bell. All right? Thank you guys so much. Right, so first things first, I know everybody wants to talk about Bitcoin and what's going on with the price right now, and you know why are we experiencing such a pullback? Well, I'm going to go through some of the technicals with you guys here. I'm going to show you guys how I set up my charts and how we kind of make projections here at Swing Trade Pros. All right, so the first things first is, well, is the music too loud? Let me hear some hype in the, or let me know, guys, if the music is too loud and overpowering my voice. If you guys could, just leave me your feedback real quick so I know to turn the music down so you guys can hear everything, okay? I'm going to wait for you guys to respond, all right? Excellent, guys. I'll be taking like coin requests after I do my little education first. Okay, so save your tickers for the end of the session. Okay, guys. Down a tad would be okay. Okay, sounds like it's still too loud. Okay, sounds good. I turned it down a bit. Excellent. All right, so we can really take any asset and basically plot. So basically, what you want to do is you want to start off on the larger time scales with your charts. Okay. Right now we're on the BLX, which is the Brave New Coin Liquid Index for Bitcoin. We're actually on the monthly time scale. All right, and so what I've done here is kind of plotted out every single Bitcoin cycle. You can see it basically repeats the same type of pattern every single cycle. But this is kind of a special chart because most charts do not look like this, okay? That's why I kind of wanted to go through Bitcoin first, and then we can go through some other assets and how I chart those. All right, so Bitcoin, we can clearly see we have this inside kind of parabola structure. It's kind of the opposite of what you normally would see in a traditional market. All right, you can kind of see this parabola curve here that kind of goes upwards like that, right? And then you have the top side, right? And so it's kind of like that, right? So you can see that this is like an upward sloping parabola curve, which is unusual most of the time for most assets because they're not typically charted this way. Obviously, Bitcoin has a special conditions behind the asset, right? With the halvings and the supply and all of the special characters that go along with Bitcoin and what it does and why Bitcoin is Bitcoin, right? So you need to understand those fundamental factors as well before you, look to get into an asset such as Bitcoin or really any asset, right? So you always want to do your due diligence before even looking at an asset. And then we look for the technicals, right? We look for the areas of value for the asset, right? So Bitcoin, for example, I have these areas circled on the Bitcoin chart because every single cycle, aside from the first iteration, right? Because we don't know, this is unknown, right? We don't know what this is going to do after it does it. We do. That's the whole point of having lots of chart data. I personally do not look to buy assets that don't have lots of chart data because I'm not informed, right? I won't know where, I won't be able to project where the asset will go, right? So all these new IPOs, like the Coinbase IPO that just came out, I probably won't even look at that until there's some more chart data on it, okay? Everyone's been asking me about it. What do you think about the Coinbase IPO? Well, I don't know anything about it. I don't really know what the chart's going to do. I don't know what kind of data there's going to be. So I'll just wait, guys. I'm a pattern trader, so I look for these types of patterns, right? And just to let you guys know, I specifically specialize in 3 different types of patterns. That is bullish pennants, bullish rectangles, and falling wedges. All right. Now, there's many traders out there that specialize in other types of patterns, but I specifically focus on these 3 types of patterns, and I've had some really great success with them. And we're going to go through each and every one of those patterns here today. Okay. And if you guys notice, the Bitcoin pattern here every single time has been a bullish pennant type of structure. So one triangle here, your second cycle here, and your third cycle here. And what I also want to show you guys about the Fibonacci's, okay, if you guys aren't familiar with Fibonacci is, it's a mathematical sequence that tells you what percentage from the swing high to swing low an asset has retraced, okay? And after this initial Bitcoin cycle, we're able to find out that this asset was able to get to the 2.272 retracement, which is 272.2% above the previous level. Okay, that's a significant retrace, or that's a significant achievement for this asset. But if you notice, every single cycle, or at least for the past 2 cycles, it's gone to the same range. So that's why I'm still projecting the same range for this cycle, because there's nothing here that's really changed. If anything, the fundamentals have gotten even stronger, right? So the fundamentals obviously have gotten stronger, but the same type of patterns are playing out. So they're going to rhyme or repeat themselves. And so to get and understand how to use the Fibonacci retracement tool, it's really simple on TradingView. You just go to the Fib retracement tool and you just drag from your swing high to your swing low, just like that. And if you're trading downside targets, right, you could just go to settings and click the reverse, right? So if you were like, oh, well, this is going to make downside price action. Well, excellent. Well, guess what? We know that from this swing high to this swing low, if this was to break down, you know, your next level's here at $2.84, $2. And if you break the bottom, well, this is the 1.272 fib extension, the 1414 and the 1618, right? Those are levels that it could go down to based on Fibonacci. Now, there's a little bit more of a complicated pattern or patterns that you can get to understanding once you become a little bit more advanced. And I'm actually just learning these myself, and these are called harmonic patterns, and we can maybe go through this in a separate Zoom session or a separate coaching session, but I just wanted to bring it to your attention that there are mathematical patterns that can play out with Fibonacci's, okay? All right, so enough about Bitcoin, but this is what I think we could be projecting for Bitcoin in the future. Okay, on this cycle, or maybe not this cycle, maybe it's next cycle, but it looks like we could maybe continue this run after we get this pullback, right? Everyone's worried about this pullback, so excellent. We're gonna go look at a couple other assets here that I think you guys should be looking at for the long term. not for the guys. The short term, like everyone wants short term gains, of course, right? All right, so we're going to look at Ethereum here and what's drawn here on my chart, right? This is really the real first iteration for Ethereum. Okay, yes, it was released in 2015. Yes, it had a bit of a consolidation here before making this run up here in 2017. But if you guys really look at the chart, this is, in my opinion, this is the first real cycle Ethereum and its iteration is going to take on. Okay, so Ethereum here, if you just draw the demand line, you can see we have 1 touch, 2 touch, 3 touches, right? A valid trend line, a valid demand line. And guys, a demand line just means that every single time you come near or touch this line, you'll see buying pressure pick up. This is where lots of folks, lots of traders see value in an asset, right? Towards the bottom of a trend line. And likewise, the sellers, right? The sellers up here at the resistance areas. And there's going to be lots of there was lots of selling up here. If we go to regular candles, you'll see before we actually broke out, look at this wick right here. Let me turn the buy sell zone indicator up. By the way, guys, the buy sell zone indicator is a, you can get this for a free trial in the STP Discord. This is one of our most used indicators. So definitely go and check that out. That is in our Discord channel. And let me just post our Discord channel in the live chat here. Give me 1 second. Perfect. Make sure you guys join the community. Check it out. All right. So, yeah, you can join the Discord and test out the buy-sell zone indicator. But back to what I was saying here about the supply zone, you guys can clearly see right here this wick down, right? This was sellers, people taking profits up here, right? We got this breakout initially, but guess what? Lots of people were selling up here, and it pushed us right back below the supply line, and we closed the monthly candle below it, right? And then we opened a new monthly candle and pushed through it. We got this nice rally, okay? And this month, you guys can see also, well, there's no real resistance up here, right? But you guys can see that we do have some, obviously, people taking profits up here, right? And, all right, so I'm going to get to how I set up my charts and why I set them up a certain way so you guys can kind of, emulate what I'm doing, right? So if you're new to TradingView and you're a new trader, your trading chart right now is probably white. I personally don't like the white chart. It's kind of a little too much on my eyes. So you can go to the chart property settings wheel up here, go to appearance, click background, change it from gradient to solid. I'm using solid, and then a black background. And then you'll have these like lines on your chart that look like this, okay? Like these grid lines. You can get rid of those. Those are really obviously annoying. So you just change the opacity to 0. Right? And the prices here on the left side, if you can't really see them very well, you can change that under scales text. You can change it, to whatever text you want, all the way up to a 40. I'm obviously okay at 14. All right. And so that's like the basics of the background of the chart. And then obviously, if you just double click out, I have a few other indicators here that I have on my chart. One is a MACD, which stands for moving average convergence divergence, which tells you if an asset is bullish or bearish, and if there are factors behind the bullish or bearish move, right? So this is obviously a helpful indicator. This is a free indicator on TradingView, and I encourage all of you guys to learn how to use it. This will help you greatly when trying to get into positions or even scalp trading or long-term trading. I also use another free indicator called a stochastic RSI. Okay, make sure you guys throw this on your chart. And the other free indicator here that I use is the MFI, which stands for Money Flow Index plus RSI. So it's a money flow index with a relative strength index built into it. And an awesome indicator built by this gentleman here, Killer Ilja. I use it in conjunction with all of the STP indicators, and I encourage all of you guys to also use this. It might give you some more confidence with your trading as well. Okay. The other indicator here that I use is an STP indicator. It is called the STP Directional Movement Index, and what this helps you achieve and understand is when an asset is in a squeeze. And a squeeze is a term, when we use that, means the range of the asset is becoming extremely tight, meaning it's trading within a certain trading range for quite some time, and you get that consolidation. And this kind of lets you know when you have those periods of consolidation and when you could expect to see some sort of break. And then once you understand it, when you're in a squeeze, that's when patterns kind of come into play, because then you can get a probability knowing which way the asset is going to break, right? Either break to the upside or break to the downside, right? Every single pattern has a certain probability chance to break a certain way. Okay. And the other indicator I use here is just a divergence indicator, and this one is also free on TradingView. And on my main chart here, I also use the STP, aside from that buy-sell zone indicator, which is very helpful. I also use the STP RSI bands. That's these green and red bands here. And typically, every single time we get into green band territories, this happens to be an area of value, right? You can see we touched the green band here, and this was back in coronavirus. This was like the stone bottom of the market on the daily time scale, and we have been going up since then, right? So we can see that we're towards the top of the red band here, which could be why we could see maybe a pullback, right? So, but as long as we hold this demand line up here on Ethereum, I think we'll still be okay. So we can see right now, we actually, on the 4-hour time scale, we touched this green band area very fast, and price just went right back up. Buyers just came right back in right there, right? So this is kind of how I just go through my day-to-day, guys. I just look at the charts, look for demand lines, look for supply lines, look for patterns, specifically those ones I mentioned before: bullish pennants, bullish rectangles, falling wedges, and inverse head and shoulders patterns, because these are all bullish type patterns. We are still in a bull market. Once the tune starts to change to the downside, well, guess what? I'll be looking for bearish rectangles, and I'll be looking for bearish pennants, and I'll be looking for the same types of patterns just to the downside, right? So that's kind of what you need to do as a trader. You need to figure out what type of patterns you want to look for, what kind of patterns you want to teach yourself, and just literally look for those types of patterns on the chart and see how they're playing out, and just continue to practice it over and over and over again until you're very confident in what you understand what to look for on your chart, on your oscillator. The oscillator is going to help you determine or give you an advantage what's happening on that chart. Okay. And yes, guys, let's take a moment. Make sure you guys hit the like button, hit the subscribe button if you guys are new to the channel and really like the content here. I really would appreciate that. And if you could, also hit the bell. That way you get all the updates here at Swing Trade Pros. We do live streams daily, and we try to cover the markets for you guys every day. Okay. So this pattern right here actually is more of a rising type pattern. What is the reason you use Heiken Ash sheet candles more than normal candles? Well, Heiken Ash sheet candles are good because they give you sort of market direction, right? For newer traders, I actually suggest Heiken Ash sheet candles unless you are really extremely practiced with traditional Japanese candlesticks, because otherwise you're going to find yourself in scenarios where, like, I don't know what type of candle this is, but if I'm on an HA candle, you can see it'll project the type of price action. That's what's good about HA candles, is that it gives you kind of that direction of the candle as it's printing, right? So yeah, I'm going to stop for a moment here and field some questions for you guys. So if you guys have any questions about what I'm doing here, why I set up charts the way I do, please ask here in the chat, okay? All right. What time frame do I usually trade at? Well, it depends on my trading strategy, if I'm going for a longer term trade or a shorter term trade. So that is going to kind of vary. I typically trade on weekly or monthly timescales, because I am a longer term swing trader. What do I think about Elliott case? You're talking about Elliott wave theory? I don't know too much about Elliott wave theory, to be honest. But there is probably some merit to it, right? So it could be something to teach yourself for sure. Yeah. Back to the time frame question, right? So you want to, if you're looking to buy an asset, obviously, how do you get into the chat groups? How do you bring up the EMA ribbon? I don't typically use the EMA ribbon, but you can. Under templates, you just put the moving average exponential ribbon on. Okay, you can just click that and then it'll add it to your chart. William, sure, no problem. Can you teach how to use a Fibonacci tool? Sanskar, we actually taught that earlier in the stream. Guys, is the music too loud still? I thought I turned it down. The overall consensus would be great. No, before I continue on. Crypto Steve, yeah, this is live on YouTube, man. You'll be able to rewatch the stream anytime you want. Yep. Can I start a chart from scratch? Yeah, I can start a chart from scratch. Let's chart a. Give me a ticker, Caprice. Okay, consensus music is good. I'm gonna just keep it as is. Yeah, Caprice, just give me an asset that I've never charted before. That'd be great. I don't know. I will know once I pull the chart up. So, DOT. I've definitely charted DOT for sure, but I can look at it. Okay, so here's DOT. I'll even redraw the whole thing for you guys right now. Okay. By the way, these red and green lines on my chart is the STP support and resistance indicator. This is also really helpful in determining where to take profits or start making your purchases or your dollar cost averages as well. All right. So we broke out of this bullish rectangle, right? Broke out of it up here, kind of back tested it, consolidated, and tried to make a move. And then obviously the whole market sold off last night, and we sold right back into the range. Right, so we can actually probably adjust now what's happening here, as this was real trading price action. and we can probably also adjust the demand line and for this asset. Okay. So this is a kind of a rising type pattern, okay, which isn't necessarily good, which is why we're seeing the price come down. Typically, you want to see down-sloping consolidations, not up-sloping consolidations. So we could be in for a nice correction on this asset. If this demand line doesn't hold, we can actually get longer-term fib targets here. And whoever asked before how to do the fibs, this is how you do it. So our wick from down here at $1.45, we know we made an all-time high up here. Okay. The longer term, if this correction continues, longer term, if we break this demand line, you know, we can easily see, and I'm saying easily, we can easily see a $21 dot, okay, if this demand line breaks here and we break these supports. Okay, I mean, I don't necessarily expect that, but it's a possibility. Okay, once you reach a swing high, you can go from your swing low, your ultimate swing low, which is this wick down here, to your swing high, and to get the downside targets. In bull markets, typically, you can get up to, yeah, I mean, this is crazy. You can get up to a 61.8% retrace on an asset, and yeah, that would be losing a lot of value for sure. But never rule these situations out if we go into a downturn on the market, right? But typically in bull markets, that 236 and that 382 area are really the reversal areas if the asset is still really extremely bullish. Did I hear of SafeMoon token? Yeah, no, sorry, man, we're not charting any S coins right now. I'm sorry. So this is kind of what you want to look for. I mean, yeah, this swing target down here might be a little drastic because it's this wick when it first got listed. But like if you want something maybe more realistic, you could maybe go from this bottom of this consolidation. You know, maybe this area here might be good, or like around this $26 area, the 236 fib extension. If we break this rising type pattern, which typically rising patterns don't bode well to the upside, they usually break to the downside. But we'll see. I mean, we're in a pretty crazy bull market right now, right? There is a chance or a probability that an upsloping consolidation can still break to the upside. Okay. All right. We can look at CRO and we can look at GRT. Okay. So I had this line drawn across here because prior we didn't have these moves above it, right? We had this kind of scam wick up here, which is probably a fake breakout, and then it just came right back down into the structure. So this demand line here is still active and still obviously being respected, right? One touch, two touch, even the third touch here yesterday on CRO. And the bottom of the range, the top of the range is 223%. This is a longer term target, okay? Ryan, absolutely. I actually posted that trade setup on my profile, my TradingView profile, the band, huge ascending triangle, right? Now it obviously pulled back from this supply line. And, you know, down where we're at right now, it's probably, you can see how this was respected here, right? There was this wick down to the 886 fib extension, okay? Thoughts on Cardano, HNT. We can look at some of these. GRT. Yeah, so GRT broke out of this wedge, made a lower high, and came right back down to the wedge to back test it. So this could be another entry point for GRT, right? Because we can redraw this now, but it was basically almost perfect. Oh, I just used the date and price range tool. And what's really interesting about GRT here is that this type of structure that we're seeing right here is a Wyckoff accumulation here. All right. See how it's kind of like making this cup or this rounding. This is an accumulation happening in this range. All right, big time accumulation happening. Okay. Thoughts on HNT and Cardano. HNT, I think that's that helium token, right? Well, it was parabolic. Okay, it broke the parabola here, and then broke down. Makes a lot of sense, and we came down to that 786 pip extension, and we wicked right off of it, and now we're making some sort of bounce here. Right, so now you can start to look for these downsloping types patterns. These are more bullish patterns to look for because they usually break back to the upside. Right, so this is kind of like a descending, broadening wedge pattern. All right, and the oscillator here is telling us that we're oversold on the 4-hour and we're coming back up. Right, 37 on the RSI. You're in obviously a crazy uptrend, and so it's more than likely going to test back up to 1465 before maybe coming back down again to test the support and kind of just maybe downsloping before you really make a nice breakout. All right. How do you find entry in a coin? That's a great question. So obviously after you understand where you're at on a Fibonacci level and where you're at in terms of a support, that's where you start honing in on areas to find entries. All right, so maybe you want to use a 15-minute chart and look at that for an entry to slowly start scaling into something after an asset's crashed about 30-40%, or you're at maybe a reversal area, right? Or maybe you're familiar enough with Japanese candlesticks to understand, oh, the 4-hour candle just came in as a hammer candle. Yeah, after you print some sort of hammer candles or some sort of bullish reversal candle, those could be something that you look at to look for entries. So hopefully that answers your question, Vidush. Can you show an example of bearish divergence that would signal larger market corrections are coming instead of having a limited view on certain coins? Sure. We can look at bearish divergence. Let's just look at the S&P. Here's a great example of bearish divergence. Or maybe the monthly chart. Okay. So bearish divergence in bull markets, I will say this with as much clarity as I can, doesn't always play out as strong as bearish divergence in a downtrend. Okay? That's why in bull markets we look for bullish divergence, right? Yes, the green crypto, the fib points can be used as major swing targets and major take profit areas. That's right. So you can see right now on monthly for the S&P, we're starting to form some sort of bearish divergence on the relative strength. Okay, this means we're making a lower level of relative strength, but a higher price, right? Higher price, but lower levels of relative strength. However, the MACD momentum oscillator is kind of agreeing with the higher price because it's the highest momentum we've ever seen in the S&P, in the history of the S&P. So you want to have all oscillators and all indicators telling you the same things for the major move down, okay? Like, so like if this momentum here was lower, a lower level than the previous, man, that's serious bearish divergence, right? Because you're showing the momentum as being weaker than the previous monthly candle here, a monthly momentum, right? Because then you're really showing that buyer exhaustion. Right now, it's kind of unclear, right? But you have the divergence coming in here from January of 2018, this level up here. We're looking at a monthly chart, so it is kind of valid to look at this, okay? And yeah, you're also in the red zone here on the bands on the S&P DMI. You can also see it here as well. So like we might see in the coming months, we might see a pullback, okay? This is for the S&P. The S&P 500 for all of you guys that are joining us and with us here. Now, this bearish divergence pullback doesn't mean we go into a bear market. It just means we might see another major market correction. So you need to understand that bearish divergence is just, you have some oscillators and some things on the chart diverging with the opposite happening with the price. So like you're making a lower high on your relative strength, you're making lower levels of positive momentum, usually on the MACD oscillator, and yeah, you're showing signs of buyer exhaustion, essentially, okay? Hopefully that answers your question. How do you know if it is a good time to buy or sell by looking MACD? Okay, yeah, we can look at that. The MACD isn't always the 100% factor, okay? The MACD helps you understand if there's momentum or divergence going to the direction that you want to trade, okay? I'll give you a good example. Rocket, this asset right here, okay? So I think it was like back here on March 29th, I actually called this one out in the Discord. And yeah, it was somewhere, I'm trying to remember exactly where it was, where we got the entry. Okay, yeah. So we took an entry on this asset over here. You can see that on the RSI, we're down here in the 30s, okay, and we're showing this bullish divergence down here, and we're also showing signs of negative momentum weaning, right, on the oscillator. So you had 2 out of 3 oscillators telling you that the sellers were exhausted. Now this is when you go look at the chart, okay, and you determine, are you in a pattern? Well, we were definitely in a pattern here, okay? It didn't play out as good as as much as we'd wanted to, but we got a nice little move here, right? We got this move. It was a 25% move. So it was a pretty big move. The option on this trade was very profitable when we traded it. Okay, so this was kind of a falling wedge structure. You can see we came back to this support area here, this area, this cluster of support here, right? And yeah, this trade took a couple days to play out because I think we started buying it back here on the 24th and 25th, okay? I hope that was a good example of how we use momentum oscillators to find entries and looking at supports to find entries and using the RSI and the STP DMI indicator here. You can see was in the green territory, kind of aligning with the rest of the oscillators. All right. All right. Do you guys have any other questions or comments or any other charts you guys would like me to look at? How do you set your stop loss? Well, that's a good question. So typically on a trade, you want to have a 3-to-1 risk to reward ratio. And depending on the type of pattern you're trading, if it's a wedge pattern, you typically want to set your stop below the wedge. Okay. So for this trade, we're looking at a stop here at $21.45. Right? And if we took this entry right here on this support, we're looking at a 3-to-1 risk to reward ratio. And if we set our stop here at this 21.45 area, the 3-to-1 risk to reward ratio, we only needed this trade to go to 25 bucks. Okay. And it exceeded that. It went to almost $27. Sure, absolutely. Cardano is bearish. Let's take a look at it. Well, it broke down because the rest of the market broke down, right? We were actually in a very bullish setup. So we broke this demand line here, right? But what's happening here is guys, is like we could be seeing some maybe seller exhaustion, right, on the 4-hour chart. And the reason being, well, look at your RSI. It's at 23. It's way oversold. This is probably a good buying opportunity. All right. By not giving financial advice, I think you can start to buy some of these dips depending on which assets you're looking at. The answer is yes. And if you look, we're in the green band territory here on the 4-hour. All right, so at minimum, what will happen is we'll go back up to test this demand line again, right? And if we get back into the pattern and we back tested as support again, then we can actually safely assume that this pattern's actually going to play back out, all right? And we can look at BTT. I mean, look at the respect on the heart line, right? You guys see that? So this median trend line, this median heart line here, this asset actually wicked all the way down to the bottom of the channel, but stayed above the heart line, okay? That's really important. Really, really important. But yeah, we can still consolidate, guys. This, you know, this could come back up, touch the top again, come back down, make another higher low. Maybe that's where you look for your entry, right? Trade this out. All right, we can look at band, sure. Yeah, absolutely. You need to take into consideration. Bitcoin rules all right now. Yeah, and look at Ben respecting this this demand line here, right? Got this big wick right here. Boom, big wick. And this breakdown, yeah, this can break down. But if the market remains in really bullish scenario, and this will probably break to the upside, not to the downside. There's always a chance that these patterns break down, guys. Right? Remember that. But it looks like we just came back into this range, into this median range here. All right. We actually like to use what's called the market cycle, and we call it the market cycle because it gives us an idea of what the USDT dominance is. That's something good you might want to look at on your chart too. If you see USDT dominance looking bullish, watch out. That means all the crypto assets are probably going to experience some sort of pullback or drawdown, right? Temporarily, depending on what time scale of the chart you're looking at. All right? But here was the GRT chart that I was already mapping out here. This could be an inverse head and shoulders pattern, right? Because this left shoulder here, we didn't actually close a candle below it. We wicked down to it. We actually wicked down all the way down to 124, probably creating a cascade of liquidations, right? But yeah, GRT still in the structure, man. Still in the structure. Although this here, you can see on the daily doesn't look so good, right? We have this divergence that's playing out, right? But this is the divergence that I think is playing out. We're already down 15% on the asset, okay? I'm sure the 4 hour is completely oversold. It is, yeah. The 4 hour here is completely oversold. You're probably going to get a bounce back up, maybe to a lower high, maybe one more leg down. You know, if we just continue to have consolidation, right, or downside price action. Is the market cycle chart available within TA? Yeah, it's available within TA. Look at Solana, right? This is an asset that's extremely bullish and outperforming the market right now. It came all the way down and back tested this support area. I don't know why I had this plotted here, but it seems like this was the area to break. This is probably this breakout area. It came all the way back down to test this previous breakout. And what did it do? Bang! Just hammered right off of it. This looks extremely bullish right now. By the way, guys, Solana is something you guys should probably look into for the long term. We can look at Filecoin, sure. If you guys think I'm doing a great job here, make sure you guys smash the like button up, hit the subscribe button, and tick the little bell. Remember, guys, I'm giving you guys a free coaching session here live on YouTube. You'll be able to watch this stream over and over and over again for the rest of your life. Nicholas, we actually just looked at ADA. So we obviously broke to the downside, right? Now, we probably won't do the whole move down, but there is a high likelihood chance that if these supports don't hold up here, right? If this support doesn't hold here, we're going to come back down and test these supports here. If we continue price action to the downside. All right. Awesome, Canadian. Appreciate that. Yeah, we can look at ANKR. And VeChain. Everyone wants VeChain. Yeah, this one was completely parabolic. Doesn't surprise me at all. That wow, I mean actually VeChain made a nice recovery. This looks extremely nice. Look at the 4-hour. Look at the 4-hour candle negating this previous bullet or bearish candle. So this is right now. This is going to print a 4-hour, basically bullish engulfing candle to overtake this selling here. Okay, this looks extremely bullish, guys. Right, and you can see that we're implying potentially price action to the upside with this negative momentum sort of weaning here, with the signal indicator way above zero here. Right, we're way above zero. The zero line is down here. Right. Yeah, VeChain looks really, really good, really strong up here. Very nice. 20% move is a possibility for VeChain once you break back above this, okay? Very nice. Very nice for VeChain here. This probably going to close green on the day. All right. Ren. Yeah, Ren probably took a beating, right? Oof. So, major pattern, had a breakout yesterday, but we can look at Sushi Swap here in a minute, Ryan. Just give me 1 second. But this broke down, right? We're going to see now if this was like a fake breakdown of the pattern to break back into the... You know what? These things do this all the time, man. They do this to liquidate people. And this actually might just come right back into the pattern and then break out. And then make its major move out. Watch out for that. That's a possibility. That's what the oscillators here are implying, okay? Obviously, the signal indicator is in the bearish territory right now on the hourly, but I'm sure like the daily is, yeah, the daily's, oh yeah, the daily's about to cross down. So, but that could be negated or changed if the smaller time frames go bullish. Okay. The daily candle closes at 8 p.m. Eastern time. I think he's talking about this coin. It doesn't have chart data though. Maybe it's this one. I don't know. I can't even pull the chart up on it. Here's the band chart. This is still a higher low than this low down here, guys. Remember that. Looks pretty good. Still in the pattern, man. Still in the long-term pattern for sure. All right. Yep, we can look at Icon. These rising wedges, right? So these don't always break up. Even though I have an upward projection for it because the asset went straight down, and usually sometime in this crazy bull market, you get these upsloping consolidations like that, and these things just go parabolic. So, but we're seeing it right now, right? We got this move down. Oh, sorry. I'll look at the anchor chart. My bad, man. Totally forgot about that. All right, yeah. So anchor looks like we might have made a local right now, maybe a local double top. Okay, top and then double top, right? So we could get, you know, this move down, all right, to 8 cents. Possible. If we break this neckline, we can easily get down to here, or maybe going back up. Or if these supports hold here, then, you know, that could get negated as well. So you have to pay attention to that. Because right now it's at a, you know, 1 touch, 2 touch, 3 touch, 4 touch demand line. But if it breaks this demand line, you know, you can almost be sure we're going to go down to touch the bottom here at 12 cents. And if we break that, well, you already know we got some support at 10 and then some support here at 8. Okay. And then you have this like major structure you broke out of down here. And yeah, I had this area circled. We pretty much got to this target before. Look, oh my God, double topping. Oh my God, so weird. Not really weird, man. Respecting the Fibonacci's. That's what's happening here. Okay. Cool. So Anchor and DOGECOIN we can look at. I'm just trying to give you all the information I can give you, all right? I'm not saying we're going to go down there. If Bitcoin and Ethereum and all the majors start to reverse, all these a little smaller caps will reverse with it as well, okay? DOGECOIN, yeah, I mean, we got to the range. We're in the range right now. I had this area circled. We got to it. The 1414 fib extension, we're pulling back from it right now when we're back testing the 1272 Fibonacci extension. Is there an indicator used for demand lines? No, there isn't an indicator I use for that. I just kind of use it myself. We do have an indicator, an STP indicator, though, that's pretty helpful, and that's the auto trend line indicator, okay? That's part of the $57 a month package. By the way, guys, in about 2 weeks, we're going to be raising prices on pretty much all of our products, so make sure you guys check them out. Obviously, today, go to swingtradepros.com and figure out what products are going to suit you best. The real-time trading indicators come with what? Yeah. Come with all these different indicators here for the $57 a month. And by the way, once you do once you do buy the subscription, you do lock in that subscription price. So when we do raise our prices, we don't raise prices for those current clients, okay? We have clients when we first started STP that locked in like $20 a month for my alert service. We have a gentleman that's still paying $20 a month, right? So that as time goes on, obviously we do raise our prices. You know, we have lots of interest and lots of folks interested in our products, and obviously we might be a little bit underpriced on the market right now. So we've come to that maybe conclusion to maybe raise our prices a little bit. And so that's kind of where we're at right now. But these are the prices right now. In the beginning of May, we will be increasing these prices, okay? So back to Coin, just pulling back, right? We got to the 1414 fib extension, and we're now testing this 1272. And you can see on the daily, it actually looks fine. Like, it doesn't look like a terrible thing here, right? We had this nice wick. Lots of buying came in to push this up. I'd like to see maybe some more buying push it up. That way, we really look super bullish. And actually, the 4-hour chart on the buy-sell zone indicator right now, even though this just started, this candle is signaling maybe a reversal to the upside. This isn't confirmed just yet, but it looks pretty good. Looks pretty good. Okay. Is the group session price per session? Yes, it is per session. It's $27 right now. That also will be going up in a couple of weeks to probably, I think, $40, right? So, yep. The only thing I don't think that we're raising price on is the one-on-one session, okay? And obviously our 3Com is Signals Marketplace. Could you go over how you put on your long-term fib extensions? Yeah, sure. We actually covered that earlier in the session, but I will cover it again here for you, as this is probably one of the biggest talking points of the session. Okay, so let's go to Bitcoin, right? Shall we? So the longer term here on Bitcoin, right? We've determined and confirmed a swing high, and we've confirmed and determined a swing low, right? So what we do is we grab our Fibonacci retracement tool here on the left side of TradingView, and you literally just click from the swing high to the swing low, right? And then you get these levels. It's really that simple. I also want to showcase here towards the end of this session the SAR indicator that we have, guys. This is our premium indicator that folks that are probably on this stream are using. A lot of you guys, I'm sure, that are part of the community here. Okay, this indicator here has about a 98.6% win rate, and right now on Coin, you guys can see we're flashing longs beautifully. I want to go back to the Ethereum chart on the monthly and show you guys something very interesting that this indicator is confirming for us, which is amazing. All right, on the monthly time scale. All right, on the monthly time scale, we are printing long signals here, guys. All right. Now, this indicator is really only suggested for those individuals that have trading account balances of I would say at least $5,000 or more. Because you're not going to be able to probably pay for your subscription costs with less than that on a conservative time scale with the bots, okay? So if you guys are interested in something like that, make sure you guys check out the Discord. Join the Discord. We also have lots of social proof and lots of results that folks are having with the indicator, okay? Let me show you this real quick here. Here you go. Just made another 1,200 on FTM. Thanks, Mr. Know-It-All. This was yesterday. We called out FTM probably on the stream, I believe. So it's definitely important that you guys watch the streams. I give out a lot of free information, lots of free content on the streams. I'm sure a lot of you that are watching this already know that. However, we do probably have some new viewers here today. So make sure you guys stay tuned. Join the Discord. Join the movement. Invest in yourselves today. Check out some of the STP products. They're going to help you. I don't want to say we guarantee it, but it's a high probability chance that it will help you in making better trading decisions. All right. If you invest in yourself, learn the patterns, learn how to use oscillators, learn about support and resistance. All of that information that you do learn in conjunction with the tools that we provide, in my opinion, will make you a significantly better trader. Okay. I want to say thank you guys so much for joining the session. Make sure you guys hit that like button, hit the subscribe button, join the Discord, join the movement. and I'll see you guys probably later tonight, okay? We're going to do the 7 p.m. Eastern live stream for you guys, the daily and weekly Bitcoin candle close. This is in my opinion, one of the most important candle closes we're going to see, especially with that wick I was showing you guys. I want to see how we close the week this week. Oh, sushi swap. Got to cover sushi swap. Okay. All right, so right now sushi yeah, sushi trading in a range, right? Looks like we're at the bottom here on the 4-hour. It'll probably truck back up. Top of the range in some time. This could take some time. But $22 is the top of the range to break. This is kind of like that bullish rectangle I was telling you guys about. All right, so this is a bullish rectangle. Top of the range, bottom of the range. Very easy to identify. 108% measured move once you break the top side of this range. Right, so your longer term target close to that $50 area. All right, hopefully that's helpful. All right, guys. I will hopefully see you guys tonight at 7 p.m. Eastern time. If not, we will see you guys sometime this week. Make sure you guys leave a like, hit the subscribe button, and maybe leave a comment in the comment section below if you guys enjoyed this coaching session and this technical analysis. Obviously, I don't usually do this for free, but because of our partners at CPC, I wanted to do a live stream for them, and obviously all you folks on YouTube already. So again, thank you guys so much for joining, and we'll see you guys later tonight.